So I want to show people how to spot a troll. So this is how it begins. Okay, they start with a normal question like food mop intolerance. Now, if this person is posing questions like this, what they're doing is they're Googling things that they can make statements about, and they're posing statements in the form of questions. So I explained to the person, I'll have to look into this question in more detail. The goal would be looking into low food mop foods, though I don't know what the healthiest ones are. Glutamine supplementation can help with gut issues also. Okay, so I said, this might help get you started. This is vegan recipes, food mop recipes, and I said you should talk to a doctor or ND, an integrative doctor or ND, which they should if they're concerned about food mop baloney. Okay? Okay? So this is about why do you consider DHA or creatine, why don't you consider DHA or creatine necessary? Okay, well the reason why is because you make them. Why do you even take lecithin then? Did I say? Huh? So the reason why is because lecithin helps to emulsify water-soluble nutrients and helps you to absorb fat-soluble nutrients. That's why you should take lecithin with water-soluble nutrients. I never said I took lecithin in this series of videos, so if this person just started watching my videos with these videos, I didn't say I took lecithin. Okay? What I said was you can get plenty of choline from vegan foods, nuts, seeds, seed oils, and other fatty foods that are in the vegan diet are full of lecithin, okay? And lecithin and choline, such as, what do you call it? Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, canola oil, various nuts and seeds. These all have choline in them, okay? So this is the thing, like, these are the questions that these people pose. He's clearly Googling things to try and disprove a vegan diet with glyphosate or whatever, the frickin' pesticide or herbicide, or I don't even know which it is anymore, that supposedly causes cancer, which has been disproven. I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, it's even accepted for use in the EU. So the thing is, I'm explaining to him, so he's Googling things to try and disprove a vegan diet, not knowing about biomagnification or anything like that, because if he was posing intelligent questions, if he was really bringing this up, he would already know about biomagnification and bioaccumulation and things like this, because this would have come up in his conversations with other people, okay? So this is what's funny. This is how okay. Now this is the other thing. I supplement with nutrients to optimize my longevity, not because I'm a pregnant woman. Okay? So how would a pregnant woman, pregnant vegan mother guarantee a healthy baby? How does a pregnant mother guarantee a healthy baby? You can't guarantee a healthy baby. It's impossible. But what you can do is you can take the proper nutrient supplements and eat a well-balanced diet. A vegan diet is as good, if not better, because you're avoiding a lot of the toxins and animal products that are there through biomagnification. So if you're not eating these things, the mercury, the lead, the different heavy metals, okay, and you're not consuming a lot of this other crap, okay, and you're eating a whole food diet, you're not only meeting your nutrient requirements, but you're also going to have a better chance of not having other issues, okay? Now, I'm going to continue with my video series right now. So I recommend reading Dr. Joel Wallach. He's a DVN, a DVM, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. And he's also a doctor of naturopathy. I recommend people read his book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. But this is the thing that people need to understand. So, the effect of kelp waste extracts on the growth of a form of Chinese cabbage. I've never heard of pak choi, which is amazing because I do a lot of shopping at a Korean grocery store, but I don't know what pak choi is. I only know it's cabbage because of its name here, Brassica chinesis. So, kelp waste contains various organic substances and mineral nutrients. Now, seaweed is a rich source of minerals. Now remember, plants utilize minerals, not organic compounds. The organic compounds come in with the health of the soil retention, moisture retention, things of that nature, and making the nutrients more available to the plants. But the plants themselves really only absorb minerals in solution. And if you're very unlucky, they might absorb things like E. coli or salmonella if you're eating food that's fertilized with slaughterhouse waste, which is why kelp is much better than slaughterhouse waste. So the nitrogen concentration was higher than other mineral elements, followed by calcium after extracting, blah, 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 blah. So this is about the amino acids and all this good stuff. This is what's basically in the kelp. But I don't think you really need to know. What you need to know is that kelp, it enriches the soil with organically derived minerals. The minerals are inorganic, but you're getting them from the plant material, which makes them more bioavailable, and there's proteins and different things in that that's going to help enrich the soil's other features. Now, let's talk about, and this is the thing, people don't, and I'm going to talk about soil inoculant in a second. So pak choi seeds treated with the low concentration responded better to germination, okay? The stimulated germination rate of pak choi soy seeds underwent lower concentrations of kelp water extraction, blah, blah, blah. It's basically like a compost tea. Considering that sugars act both as effective signaling molecules and as immediate substrates for interdisciplinary metabolism, availability of sugars is a powerful driver of plant growth and development. Soluble sugars could enhance plant growth. This is very interesting. Okay, similar to hormones. Now, what I recommend doing if you're starting seeds is dipping each seed in rooting gel. People that don't know what rooting gel is can look it up. I'm going to be getting back into growing some of my own food pretty soon. So any improvements in agriculture should decrease the adverse environmental effects and enhance the suitability or the suitable development of agricultural system. This is why we need to start moving toward growing in controlled environments. Seaweeds are one of important marine renewable resources, which have been widely used as food, biofertilizer, feed, and source of various fine chemicals such as agar, alginate, and carrageenan. Considering the direct or indirect stimulatory impacts on plant metabolism, seaweed extracts have been worldwide used as plant biostimulants. So keep that in mind. Seaweed extracts have been used all around the world as plant biostimulants. They help the plant grow better, stronger, faster. Okay, this is just talking about how everything was created like it was done like a compost tea. Greenhouse growth bioassay. This is in a greenhouse at the pak choi quality in the greenhouse. Okay, soluble sugar contents in the stem and leaf of plants were individually determined to be modified by the phenylsulfuric acid method before determining soluble protein. Statistical analysis, all data expressed as a mean plus standard deviation, blah, 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 acknowledgements, reference, okay. So, the mineral content of the soil, as well as some of the organic compounds like sugar. Now, that's actually very interesting about sugar acting as a stimulant to growth. That's really cool. Moving forward. So what's the best ratio of soil substrates for growth? Okay, so for plant growth, most soil scientists agree that 50% pore space, 45% mineral matter, and 5% organic matter. So low in organic matter, high in mineral matter, and high in air. Very interesting. So 25% air, 25% water, 5% organic material, 45% mineral material. Okay, the distribution of solids in pore space is space in an ideal soil. This is compacted soil. This needs to be busted up. Okay. So with this one, how would you fix this soil? You'd add a little bit of organic material such as peat moss or compost or something like that. The water's good, but you need to offset that. And you could add more air by busting up the soil with a pitchfork or something, or a rototiller. Okay? This is poorly drained soil. You can help change this by adding more sand and gravel, things of that nature. So this is the soil profile. This goes into the perfect soil for growing. Physical properties of soil. Organic matter in the soil, minerals, present, and drainage conditions all influence soil color. Color alone is not an indicator of soil quality, but color does provide clues about certain conditions. For example, light pale colors and grainy topsoil are frequently associated with low organic matter. High sand content and excessive leaching, dark soil colors may result from poor drainage or high organic matter content. Shades of red indicate a clay soil is well aerated, while shades of gray indicate inadequate drainage. Texture. Soil texture, which refers to the proportions of sand, silt, and clay, influences nearly every aspect of the soil. There's different particle types. You got your clay, your coarse sand, fine sand, medium sand, silt, very coarse sand, very fine sand. Okay, this is a feel method for soil texture. Place approximately 25 grams of dry soil in the palm of your hand. Add water. Knead the soil to break down all aggregates. Soil is at proper consistency when plastic and moldable. So, kind of like a ball of mud. If you ever made mud pies when you were a kid. Does the soil remain in a ball when squeezed? If yes, go to step 4. If not, it's too dry. Return to step 2. If not, and it's too wet, add dry soil and return. Place ball of soil between thumb and forefinger and gently push the soil and see if it will turn into a ribbon. Allow the ribbon to emerge and extend over the forefinger. Does the soil make a weak ribbon? If yes, go to step 6. If not, does the soil make a medium ribbon? Okay, excessively wet. A pinch of soil in the palm and rub with the forefinger. Does the soil feel very gritty? If yes, this is a sandy loam. If not, go to step 7. If yes, it is a sandy loam. If not, go to step. If yes, it is a sandy clay. Okay, does the soil feel very smooth? If yes, it is silt loam. If not, now silt is not necessarily that bad of a thing. Silt is very rich in minerals. Okay, so this is just going over how to test your soil. Choose plants suited for the soil they establish well. Mulch the surface each year with organic materials. Adequately fertilize to promote vigorous but not excessive plant growth. Create a water diversion such as as a grass waterway to capture and slow water movement. Allow rows to follow the land's contour. Use proper tillage methods such as not tilling when the soil is overly wet and not over-tilling. So don't over-till your soil, especially when it's not wet. Plant a winter crop, a winter cover crop, such as clover or something of that nature. Okay, this is going over again the different soil types, but this is the thing, is in order to have food that works for you, you need to have decent soil management. We don't have decent soil management anymore because farmers are not being paid on the quality of their crops. They're being paid by how much of a crop they're growing. Now, the problem is also that you have these fucking fruitcakes that are thinking like, oh, it's biodynamic and blah, 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 blah. You need to go back to scientific agriculture. Even if it's this kind of scientific agriculture, this very basic ecologically minded stuff. I'm a big fan of permaculture, but I think a mix of permaculture and regular agriculture should be practiced on everybody's property that has the ability to practice it. And I'm going to move forward here. So this is about sustainability powered by science. You want to pump in to your soil an inoculant. An inoculant is a bacterium that is going to inoculate the soil with bacteria. And what this does is this helps to fix nitrogen in the soil. Now, this is why you should be growing as many beans and legumes, like various beans, lentils, clover, etc., to trap as much nitrogen in that dirt as possible. So, what people don't understand, when you grow food for livestock, you're losing all of that good dirt into the plants, all that mineral into the plants that's going into the cows and whatnot, and you're losing it. Because a lot of it's going back out of their shit, and it's not being utilized by the cattle. It's being utilized by running off into waterways and causing pollution, and it's going places where it doesn't need to be going. So, this is, let's see, differences you can see. When source is used in season, this is the brand, visual differences are clear. Non-treated source. You can see the root difference, right? Because of the symbiotic relationship. These are probiotics for your plants. So corn, soybean, wheat, cotton. Okay. Find a retailer. Okay. But this is a name brand of soil inoculant. So, moving forward. Now, if you're growing your own food, what you want to do is you want to grow food not necessarily for flavor, but what is the most disease resistant. Okay. So, you have the aligote, the amarillo, the apiro. These are all different. Apple yellow, apricot zebra, Artemis, Astoria, baby cakes. These are different breeds of heirloom tomato. Okay? So what you want is you want a disease-resistant crop that resists things like nematodes and gross crap like that. Okay? So that you don't need to use a shit ton of pesticides and things like that. Okay? When I was a kid, we never used any pesticides when we grew anything. And we grew tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, eggplants, asparagus, strawberries. We grew a lot of shit when I was a kid. We never used any pesticides, and we always had a good turnout. Occasionally, we might use a fungicide if it was a particularly wet year, but usually it was just fertilizer, both organic fertilizer and inorganic fertilizer, like mineral fertilizers, like lime and things like that, and also potash, peat moss, which is a type of mulch. But we would very, very rarely use any type of pesticides. And very rarely we might resort to a fungicide. Now, sweet corn is delicious. I like sweet corn. But it's not a utilitarian crop. Now, what you should be growing, if you're growing food for sustainability and your own health purposes, is something like flint corn, dent corn, or field corn. And the reason why is this can be ground into cornmeal and made into porridge and cakes and things of that nature, which are health promoting. And you can also get various colors of these. And you have to remember, sweet corn is only sweet because of a genetic defect that doesn't allow it to transform the sugars into starch. So what you want is you want a high starch, high protein corn, primarily used to feed livestock, but you're going to eat it. And the reason why is because it's high in protein. Okay, so that when you mix it with your beans, you're getting a double bang for your buck of protein, healthy starches, minerals, etc. So this is flint corn. Flint corn's kind of between dent corn and field corn. So it's used to make coarse corn flour such as semolina, polenta, and gruel. Okay, you can take the whole thing and grind it up into a whole flour and then turn it into a porridge. I don't recommend busting it into different pieces. I recommend storing it whole and then grinding it into a whole cornmeal. So these are 20 disease-resistant, open pollination vegetable varieties. These are different Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, green beans, cowpeas, which originally come from West Africa but were grown in Asia. These are black-eyed peas. These are a super excellent source of protein. And they are a complete protein if you eat enough of them. Cucumbers. Peppers. You want to shoot for the red peppers for the vitamin C. You don't need a citrus tree. Different squashes for your potassium, you know. And that's all for this video.